Hey, it's nice to see you. Come on in. I've been in the little Hobbit cottage for several months now, and I thought it was about time that we did a little tour. I actually have been here since pretty much the middle of December. I started sort of moving in the middle of November, but I was still going back and forth. So it's been about 4 or 5 months now, and I pretty much have it all together, and I'm loving it. So I thought I'd give you a little tour and show you how the little Hobbit cottage has become a very cozy home. For those of you who are new here and you don't know what's going on, I'll fill you in a little bit. I recently moved from a 2-story, 3,000 square foot house with 4 bedrooms and 3 baths that I was living in by myself with my little dog Lucy, who you'll probably see here later in the video. I moved from that house to this area because I'm thinking about buying a house here. One of the things I decided when I realized that I was moving, it was unexpected. I was thinking I would stay in that house for a couple of years. It didn't work out that way. One of the things I decided is that I wanted to get someplace really small. Because I was so tired of furnishing homes. I furnished a lot of homes in the last 5 or 6 years, and I was just kind of tired of doing a whole big house. And I knew I was going to be looking at purchasing property, and I wasn't sure that anything I got for a rental while I looked around was going to be a good fit. So I decided to get a smaller place, furnish it all with either thrifted, Facebook Marketplace, garage sale secondhand, which is what I did in Oregon. I furnished that whole house, almost the whole house secondhand. And I would just stay in the place that I was renting until I found a place that I wanted to buy. What ended up happening is I did find a little place, but oh my gosh, I was not prepared for how very little it was. It was so small. And when I first saw it, I had a meeting with a little rental gal. I was interested in a larger property that she had. It was bigger. It wasn't a whole lot bigger, but it was bigger than this. And that was no longer available. Someone had already snapped it up. Things in this area go really, really quick. But what she said to me was, I've got a little place, let me show it to you. So we walked on over here, and oh my gosh, you guys, I walked in and all I could think was, this place is so small. It is so small. It is so small. And let me go ahead and show you some pictures of what this place looked like when I first rented it. And you can see from the pictures that it was really bare bones. It was built out in kind of a creative manner, I would say. There are some nice finishes and some things that I really appreciate, but it was very small. There weren't a lot of windows, but the windows it did have were spectacular. The floor is concrete and it's about 400 square feet, which is the size of a tiny house. And when I was talking with the realtor and looking around, and I was sort of running out of time, and I just all of a sudden said, okay, I'll take it. And when I say I'll take it, that's a deal. You know, I'm committed. I went ahead and did all the paperwork, and then I spent the next few weeks waking up in the middle of the night thinking, oh my gosh, that place is so small. It's so small. How am I ever going to fit everything in there that I need, and how am I going to be comfortable? Well, here's the long story short. I love it here. I absolutely love it here. I have furnished it and decorated it in a way that feels so cozy to me. The things that I love about it, I love even more. And I've ended up turning it into just a very, very cozy home. So we're going to do a little tour today. I'll show you the things that I've picked up, the choices I've made, how I've learned to live in a small space. And I think you're going to see quite a difference from where we started to where we are today. Let's start in the living room, which is where I spend the majority of my time. So it's really important to me that it's very cozy and everything I need is right there. Just about 100% of everything in this particular home was bought secondhand. There were only a few things that I bought retail. One of them was my bed, and I did buy a couple of nice rugs that I really love, and I'm glad that I bought them. The couch was off of Facebook Marketplace, and the reason I chose it it is I needed a small couch for this space. This living room area, oh my gosh, is the size of a large area rug. That's about it. So I needed to make sure that I had a smaller couch in order that I would have the ability to walk in and out of here. And I don't need a lot of seating space because it's just me here. And you can see Lucy sits next to me on the couch. That's why I have the blanket there. Over here is my little workstation because this is where I do all my work, and I can see the sun is affecting the exposure a little bit. So I have that two-tier table, again, just bought it off of Facebook Marketplace, and everything that I need to work and to crochet is right there. And then this table right here, it's an antique table. You've seen these, they're two-tier. This one's probably about, oh my gosh, 100 years old. And that's what I use to put my computer on so I can watch YouTube videos or do work. And it's really handy right there. Of course, I've always got to have my footstool because I love to have my feet up. And then over here, you can see it's a basket of yarn. Because I have yarn everywhere around here, and it's sitting right on top of my vibration plate. So it's an easy way for me to be able to use my vibration plate. I just move the basket of yarn, turn it on, and I stare out those beautiful windows. These windows right here are what make this place so incredibly cozy and wonderful. They are huge windows, and they did such a lovely job framing them out. They're brand new windows, and oh my gosh, it makes all the difference because I sit over there on the couch and I get up early around 5 in the morning, and I can watch the sun come up out of those windows and the birds start chirping and the world starts coming alive. It's absolutely magical. That time of the day, that morning, is absolutely my favorite time of the day. So those windows are just about the only windows I have in this whole space. But oh my gosh, they make the space really, really lovely. This piece here is a unit I bought off of Facebook Marketplace just a few days ago, and I'm not kidding you guys, it's all full of yarn. It's 3 full drawers of yarn, and it's been so handy for me because now I can pull my yarn out of the cupboards that's been taking space up in the cupboards, and I can have it in this little unit in the living room. It wasn't being used for anything important anyway. I am a collector, and I love beautiful little pieces of art and neat old pieces, and so I've brought a lot of them with me from the last house. And these big window seals, which are, gosh, I think they're probably 10 inches deep, are a fabulous place to display a lot of decor items, which I have done. So over here, this is a painting I did. That's a little piece of ceramic from Mendocino, a place my family and I travel to a lot. And then down over here are my tuning forks and my crochet needles, pictures of the daughters. And then you can see my little workstation right there. So I have that leather organizer, which keeps everything in place and is so handy. I use this silver tray that I got thrifting to keep my yarn on. So everything is right here. And then of course my computer on this old table and my little calendar right down there. So it makes a really, really nice space for me to sit down here on the couch. And this is my view all day long. It's really gorgeous. This is one of the rugs that I did buy new, and it was a little bit more expensive, but I'm so glad I ended up getting it. It's a wool rug, handmade, and it's just really, really pretty. And the reason I felt comfortable buying it at retail was because I know that I will be able to fit this into any place that I move into. So this is one of the rugs. I'm forgetting the name of the company right now, but I'll have it listed in the description box down below. This area here is right as I come in the front door. So I wanted a place to be able to put my keys and the dog leash and the things that I want to grab really easily. And I picked this little piece up off of Facebook Marketplace. I think it was like $10 or $20, something like that. Very affordable. And it fits in that little cubby area really, really well. And then above it, I was able to hang up some pieces of art that I've collected over the past few years. So it makes a really nice little entryway area for me to keep my things and to be able to grab my keys and get out the door really quickly. I wanted the dining room to be functional, but I didn't really need a lot of seating because I know I'll maybe have people over for dinner twice or 3 times while I live here. I did have one small dinner party with my daughter and her husband, and it was just fine. We ended up pulling chairs out and, you know, everybody had a place to sit, so it was really good. This dining table, I got off of Facebook Marketplace when I got here. It's old, it's black. I thought, no problem, I'll just throw a tablecloth over it, and I got the tablecloth custom made off of Etsy. I love Etsy for little touches like that because you can get what you really want and they're handmade and it's just lovely. So this area has the area above the table on the wall back there is a great place to display artwork. That mirror was here, and the little deer down in the corner, that was a little metal sculpture that I thrifted somewhere. I don't even remember where, and I just stuck it on that mirror with some sticky stuff. And so it looks like it's actually part of the mirror. All the artwork over here is thrifted, with the exception of the mandala over there. I actually painted that. I had a little period of time there for several months where I was painting mandalas all the time. When I was living in Florida, I really loved it. I had a great time doing it. I kept a couple of them, one stored under the bed in the back room, and the other one is right over there on the wall. It makes a nice little decorative piece. I really like it. All the rest of the artwork over here is all thrifted. Oh, except this one and this one. Those are both mine, but the rest of them over here are thrifted. This one up here, I just got that recently in the local restore here in the town I'm living in. Saw it, hauled it home, loved it. Working with a small kitchen, I knew it was going to be a big challenge. I love to cook, and I actually cook a ton in this kitchen, even though it's the size of a postage stamp. It really is. I knew I was going to need a lot of extra storage because even though they did a good job putting cabinets in, it's not enough cabinet. So I picked up this little 4-shelf unit from a gal here locally. She used to stage homes, and she was closing out her business and selling a bunch of furniture that had been barely used. So this is what I use for some of my dishes and cooking pots and pans. I keep my coffee pot here. I'm doing my fermented vegetables over there in the corner. This has come in so very handy because I can put things over here that are more decorative and more attractive and have them be decorative pieces and also be able to use them when I need them. And then speaking of decorative areas, look at this shelving up here. This is one of the things that I thought I can do a lot with that. When I was looking at this and thinking, oh my gosh, that place is way too small. I can't live here. But I looked at these shelves and I looked at the windows and I thought, oh, you know, I probably can make this place really stinking cute. And you know what the surprising thing is that it feels cozier and feels to me cuter than I ever would have dreamed. It just sort of came together one little piece at a time. So this unit has worked out really well for me because I'm a collector and I have some really cool things that I've been actually carting around for a long, long time. So a great opportunity for me to be able to display things that I love, are beautiful, they have memories. And it's just, you know, a lovely way to be able to enjoy your space and be surrounded with the things that make you feel at home. So let's talk about the kitchen. And as you can see, the kitchen is really just one wall and not a very long wall at that. That's all there is. And right here, this area right here is almost the only working space. So I knew that I was going to have to get creative with the kitchen. So storage, getting that extra unit that I just showed you over there was a huge part of it. And I ended up getting rid of a lot of dishes. I just kept my very favorites. Like I have a set of hand-thrown pottery dishes from the 70s, which is a treasure to me. I found it at a garage sale or yard sale in Oregon. I will always own that. There are things like that that I'll always own. But on the other hand, I kept that dish set. I gave away all my glasses or donated all my glasses. I have one glass in the house. And when my daughter and her husband came for dinner, I actually had to go to the local thrift store and I bought a couple of little crystal mini wine glasses that we could use for water or wine or whatever. So I really, really cut down on all my dishes. I cut down on all my pots and pans and that sort of thing. So if I need a saucepan, I have one. If I need a stew pot, I have one. So it's really a matter of choosing the things that I really knew I was going to use. There are a few things in this kitchen that I just love because they're such space savers. One of them is that knife rack over on the side of the refrigerator. That magnet is so dang strong, I don't know if I will ever get it off of that refrigerator when I move. But it's so handy to have all my knives up there and I can grab them really quick. So you can see it right here. I would highly, highly recommend it. And then there were other things that I did just to make it easy to work in here. All my cooking utensils are right here. I don't have a drawer for them. They go right here on the counter. This little item I'm going to show you right now. If I can get the camera over there. Hang on. This rack right here is one of the best space savers I've got in this whole place. I use that as my dish rack. So I load the sink up with the dishes, wash the dishes, and put them on this rack so I don't need to have a rack on the counter over here. I have had this for several years and it's gone from house to house with me. I'll tell you, it is one of the coolest little gadgets that's so affordable and it really, really makes this kitchen possible. And I love artwork in the kitchen, so I went ahead and put this painting back here, it's a little crooked, above the stove, and it just makes it a little bit softer and a little bit nicer here in the kitchen. Here's a little space-saving hack that has worked so well for me. You know, I'm a real supplement girl. I take supplements morning and evening. So what I did is I built a little shelf in here and I have my morning supplements in this bucket and I have my evening supplements in this bucket. So it's super easy for me to be able to grab what I need morning or evening just with this little shelving here. Over here on the other side of the refrigerator is a little closet, and that closet is what I use for my pantry. I'm actually not going to show you because it's not that cute, but it does have a wire rack in it and it gives me space to store different food items like, oh my gosh, spices and teas and that sort of thing. So here is the whole kitchen and you can see how very small it is, but surprisingly it works really well. This is a little alcove area right behind the couch. You can see my little couch place there with the beautiful windows. Gosh, I love those windows so much. I'm gonna miss them when I don't live here anymore. So I bought this dresser off of Facebook Marketplace. The lamp I thrifted from a Goodwill in Oregon, and that lamp, it was so funny, you guys. I saw the lamp and I thought, I don't know if that's fabulous or horrendous. And I couldn't decide. It was only like $19. So I went ahead and grabbed it and it had a different shade on it. And then I found that shade and decided it was fabulous. And I don't think I'm ever going to let go of it. It's just wonderful. The watercolor painting behind it was a thrifting item. And then on top of it are all little mementos. My crystal collection and one of my tuning forks. And these little ceramic dishes. One's right here. And right here and right here. I have thrifted all of those. And of course my daughter right there, isn't she pretty? I have thrifted all of those, and you guys, I cannot tell you how cool tiny dishes are. If you don't own tiny dishes, get yourself some tiny dishes. Just go out thrifting and grab any little tiny dishes. I find them so handy. I put my vitamins in them. I put little things in them. They're just, you know, fabulous. And of course right here I have my tuning forks. Whenever I want to ask the universe a question, I pull those things out. So this dresser houses, oh my gosh, items like pens and pencils and computer cables. And then down below, it actually has my art supplies in there if I ever decide I'm going to pull out my art supplies and start doing art again. So this is a nice little decor area right at the end of the kitchen, right behind the sofa. And if you're wondering why the lighting looks so warm, it's because I changed out all the bulbs for incandescent bulbs. I don't do LED lighting. These are all incandescent, and you can see the difference in the feel and the tone of the light. It just makes it so much nicer. So here's a little view of the Hobbit cottage from the kitchen. Look, there's a Lucy laying on the ground. She's so sweet. So this is the hallway between the front room and the bedroom, and it actually has a large closet right here. Let me turn the light on. And you guys can see I went ahead and I got a shelf, one of those wire shelves off of Amazon, and I have a lot of things stored in here, but I'm also leaving as much room as possible in case I need emergency storage, you know, like something happens. And those bottom few shelves, I'm going to go ahead and start filling up with food that keeps, you know, just in case, to have along in case the power goes out or something goes down. I think it's always a good idea to have some food as backup. So I made sure that those shelves were empty. And down there in the bottom, you can see I'm already starting to fill it up with some canned goods and some beans and that sort of thing. And then on the back of the door, I bought one of those, you know, umpty-dump spaces to keep your shoes in. And these are my summer shoes because I have my winter shoes out now. And one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is you don't have to only put shoes in here. I have like little speakers and paint items and all kinds of stuff. You don't have to use it only for shoes. It can hold a lot of handy dandy things that you want to get up and out of the way. Here's a view of the windows in the front room coming out of the bedroom in the morning. Isn't that pretty? It's just so very cozy here. It's a wonderful way to wake up. And then over here in the hallway, I picked up that wooden deer at, an estate sale in Oregon. And then also, this was a thrift item, this national park map. I'm a national park girl. So this is in the hallway. I'll show you right here, leading back to the bedroom. So here we are in the tiny Hobbit bedroom, and as I call it, the land of compromises. Because this place is so very small, there's just not room to put things. And so my rebounder, which, you know, you're not going to get that thing away from me no matter what, has to lean up against the wall because there's no other place to put it. And I just have learned to live with it. And then over here, I'll move the camera so you can see it. Over here on a little table, right as you come in the bedroom, is my red light. Why is it there? Because there's no other place to put it. I had to just end up putting it there. So I sit on this little bench right here and sit in front of that red light right there. And that's just the way it's got to be. As cute as the bedroom is in other ways, and I really tried to make it as cute and homey as possible, there's still things that I've had to learn to live with. In this house, I am sleeping on a twin bed because that was the only option I could think of to give myself any room at all in this bedroom. Back behind the bed, you can see up on the wall, that is actually a queen size Murphy bed. I did not want a queen size bed in this room because there was no room to do anything else if I did that. And so I went ahead and just folded it up, and I have put my twin bed in front of it. What happened is that created some space on either side of the Murphy bed. And what I did is I just ordered some curtains and some of those tension rods and put them on either side of the Murphy bed, and now I use that for storage. Over here on this side, it's my summer clothes are in boxes behind that curtain, as well as my vacuum cleaner and my dust buster. And over on the other side is a whole bunch of sporting equipment that I don't regularly use, and I can just grab it really quick behind the pillows if I need it. So that was a way for me to be able to make this room work for me. It was so small and had in some ways a lot of limitations that I had to get really creative of how I was going to get it to work so that I not only could be comfortable, but then I could have everything that I needed. This dresser right next to the bed, that was a Facebook Marketplace find. I think it was like $20. Same gal who did the home staging sold it to me. It was barely used. This little rattan stool was, I think, at the Goodwill in Oregon. And then I just put some pictures of my daughters here, and I have a little basket with things I need down there. And then nice little addition here is the window with a huge ledge. So I was able to do pictures of the girls. That's me when I was younger. And then that quilt right there was made by my grandmother's. It's one of those little, oh my gosh, they're little rounds and they're all sewed together. I just am amazed it's still existing. So I put it up there for the time being. And then this painting my daughter Heather did. Isn't that beautiful? It's just one of my favorite paintings. And then this bedspread, you guys might notice if you've been watching me for a while, this is the bedspread that I've had for years. It's actually a queen size bedspread, but I just tuck the extra behind the bed on the wall and use it as a twin, and that's been working absolutely fine. This bench, this is the one that has the salmon painted on it. If you saw my videos in Oregon, you might remember that. There's the salmon right there. So this is the bench at the end of my bed and where I sit, where I'm doing my red light. So you can see the whole bedroom right here. Not very big. And over on that wall, I know you can't see it because the light's in the way, that's kind of my destination wall. And that art piece in the middle is a quilt done by one of the sweet ladies that went down to the Yucatan with me. And it is a depiction of Bacalar, which is one of the locations that we went to. Isn't that pretty? It's all quilted. So nice little space here for some artwork. For my closet, I have one of those little wire closet organization systems. You can just get these off of Amazon. And I actually had one when I lived in that little studio overlooking the ocean up on the coast of Northern California. In that little town I lived in by Mendocino, I bought one of these and they're so stinking handy. I mean, they're really, really good. They're not expensive at all. Now this unit was actually in the hall closet when I moved in, and they had it arranged in a different way. Well, I just pulled it out of the closet and rearranged it, and so now all my clothes are here. These are my winter clothes. We're just wrapping up winter now, and in a few weeks I'm going to change out my winter clothes for my summer clothes and pack these away. But you can see between the hanging space and the rack up top where I have my sweaters, and then down here I have things like pajamas and sweatshirts and t-shirts and socks, and then all my shoes. And believe it or not, all my clothes are here. I don't have a dresser at all. Everything is here. And surprisingly, it's worked great. It really has. I haven't felt like I haven't had enough room at all, because, you know, when we think about it, most of us wear the same few things all the time. I do the same dang thing. And so this has worked really, really great. If you're looking for storage space, I can tell you that these wire contraptions that you put them together and they make a little closet, they're really, really handy. And I've had a really good experience with them. They work wonderfully. This little closet area with the little 2x4 doors, that is a small closet, and that's where the washer and dryer is. It's one of those stacking apartment units, and there's also a couple of little shelves, dressers sort of thing in there. I would show it to you. It is packed full and it's kind of messy. but that's where the laundry is. So yes, I actually do have a laundry here. And here is the bathroom. And I'll have to say, I am so blessed with this bathroom because even though the space is so very small, this bathroom is lovely. They did a great job. New finishings, new cupboards, new countertops, the whole thing. It really is very beautiful. There's plenty of storage space. The mirrors are wonderful. They were here. The shelving was here. So it has made it really, really easy for me to get everything in here. So most of the artwork in here is mine. This one over here, I did thrift. That one's mine. And then my jewelry, down here, some of my jewelry. You know, I was sourcing jewelry for a while and putting it in my shop, and oh my gosh, it would just sell like hotcakes. For some reason, I just have the ability to find good jewelry, but I've been so very busy and I don't have a lot of space, so I haven't been able to do that much. And then over here, more shelves. These were here, so I keep my skincare right on that shelf. Another one of my paintings. I mean, it's just really a lovely bathroom for a small bathroom. And so I do want to show you this. If you ever come over to my house and you need to use the little girl's room, this is going to greet you. Isn't that funny? I thrifted that painting. It's a copy of a master's work. I forget who it was now. Heather might know. She might throw it up on the screen. And then a little duck right underneath it. I thought those were cute companions. Now that's my tour for you of the cute little Hobbit cottage. I hope you enjoyed it. A couple of things that I'm hoping that you got the sense of is you can turn almost any space into something really, really comfortable and cozy. And the second thing is, and this was a lesson for me too, is small doesn't necessarily have to mean you give things up. There's plenty of space for me here to do the things that I want to do. It's comfortable, it's cozy, it meets all my needs. Would I always want to live in 400 square feet? Probably not for me, because I do a lot of craft stuff and project stuff, and I am looking for someplace that's smaller, on the smaller side, but still enough room to do projects and crafts, and there's really not that much room here. But other than that, it's just been wonderful, and I'll have to say, I really, really love this place. And you guys know I've lived in a lot of places over the last several years, and this one is really kind of one of my favorites. I mean, the windows make it lovely. I have that whole side garden area that you might have seen in earlier videos. Everything I need is here. It's super easy, it's super cozy, and I have all the things I love right around me. I hope you enjoyed this tour today. You guys know it just makes my day when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 and over 60 woman. Make it a great day. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye now.